You've probably heard the term bipolar disorder before, right? But it's often so misunderstood. So today, we're going to peel back that clinical label and really look at the human story underneath. It's a story about an emotional roller coaster, and it's one that deserves our empathy and our understanding. So, let's get into it.
Invincible highs and hopeless lows. That really captures it, doesn't it? We've all had good days and bad days, but just imagine those feelings cranked up to an absolute extreme. That's the emotional roller coaster we're talking about, and it's right at the heart of this experience.
And, this isn't nearly as rare as you might think. We're talking about 1 in every 40 adults, which means it's incredibly likely that someone you know, a friend, a family member, a coworker, is navigating this exact reality. And that's why getting a handle on this really matters for all of us.
So, what are we actually talking about, clinically speaking? Well, it's called bipolar disorder, and it describes a neuroatypical brain. All that means is a brain that functions a little differently than what we'd call typical. And that difference leads to these really severe swings in mood and energy. You might actually know it by its older name, manic depression. It often runs in families and can get tangled up with other things like anxiety, which can make it pretty tricky to diagnose.
Okay, so definitions are one thing, but to really get it, we need to move beyond the textbook. We need to see what it feels like from the inside. So, let's meet Ben. His story is going to show us exactly what this emotional roller coaster is like. So Ben, he's a pretty typical teenager. He loves playing guitar with his band, he hangs out with his friends, he's just trying to get through high school. Life is normal. But under the surface, a huge shift is about to begin.
It all starts after a band practice. Just this incredible surge of energy hits him out of nowhere. This is it. This is the beginning of his first manic episode, the dizzying, thrilling climb to the top of the roller coaster.
All of a sudden, Ben feels completely invincible, almost euphoric. His mind is just racing with 1,000 ideas at once. New songs, huge projects, these grand plans for the future. He's so full of energy, he barely even needs to sleep. He's up all night working on music. His friends, they can't even keep up. He talks for hours, jumping from one topic to the next. But this incredible energy, it has a dark side, impulsivity.
And this is a really crucial point. Mania isn't just about feeling good. When Ben's mom confronts him about using her credit card without asking, he doesn't feel bad about it. He doesn't feel remorse. He just explodes with fury. That euphoric high is often tangled up with extreme irritability and, frankly, a dangerous lack of judgment.
But, as they say, what goes up must come down. And for Ben, that incredible ascent is about to turn into a terrifying freefall. The high is over, and now comes the low.
After about a week of that non-stop, intense, manic energy, boom, everything just changes. The shift can be that sudden, that jarring.
And the contrast is just staggering. Look at this. The invincible, euphoric feeling, it's replaced by this crushing hopelessness. That boundless energy, gone. Replaced by complete and utter exhaustion. The racing thoughts of a creative genius turned dark and self-critical. The guy who was the life of the party is now withdrawn, and the music that was his entire world now feels totally meaningless. It's like his whole being has been turned completely inside out.
And this isn't just sadness, it's a deep, hollow kind of exhaustion. Ben can barely even get out of bed. Simple things like taking a shower feel like climbing a mountain. Food has no appeal, and the guilt over missing band practice is just overwhelming, feeding the story in his head that he's completely worthless. This is the crushing weight of that depressive low, where it feels like all hope has just vanished.
Ben's story gives us a really powerful window into one person's experience, but it's so important to remember that it is just that, one experience. Bipolar disorder is a spectrum. The way it shows up can be dramatically different from person to person, which, is part of what makes it so challenging to diagnose in the first place.
So clinically, this spectrum is usually broken down into 3 main types. Bipolar 1 is what we just saw with Ben, that intense, full-blown mania followed by major depression. Then you have bipolar 2. Here the highs are less severe. It's a state called hypomania. So think of it as a less extreme version of mania, often without that severe loss of judgment, but the depressive episodes are just as deep and painful. And finally, there's cyclothymia, which involves more frequent, but also milder mood swings between hypomania and mild depression.
Okay, so after understanding the intense highs and the crushing lows, the really crucial question is, what does recovery look like? The goal isn't really a cure, but more about learning to manage the episodes and finding a path back to stability.
The path to stability is usually a two-pronged approach. First, you have medication, like mood stabilizers, which can help kind of turn down the volume on those intense highs and lows. But medicine is only part of the puzzle. The second, absolutely crucial step is therapy. This is what gives people the tools and strategies to manage daily life, to recognize their triggers, and to build up resilience so they don't relapse. It's really the combination of these two that's most effective.
And this is maybe the most important point of all. While getting a diagnosis can feel completely overwhelming, it is absolutely not the end of the story. With the right support, with the right management plan, people like Ben can and do go on to live full, happy, meaningful lives.
And what's really fascinating is that, for some people, this different way of experiencing the world can actually become a source of incredible strength. Hear about so many artists, writers, and musicians who feel their neuroatypical brain is what fuels their creativity, letting them see and express things in a totally unique way. It's a powerful reminder that there can be real strength in difference.
So, we want to leave you with this question. Now that you've walked a mile in Ben's shoes, now that you've seen the complexities of this condition, how can you better support the people in your life who might be on this ride? Because at the end of the day, the answer lies in empathy, in understanding, and in community. And that involves every single one of us.